Hello there and welcome indeed. How amazing to find you all here at this once first experience for us all together in this incredible collusion of creativity. Guys, here we are at this moment in history, our first ever Creatives Unleash Ultimate Virtual Hangout. You are part of Africa's boldest and most creative talent. It is our great pleasure to be with you today, collecting and collaborating and sharing all our creative energy together. The explosion is going to be unreal, guys. We better just check our Google calendars out, get Google Sites out to just see. Watch for the explosion. You're going to see the light shining out from this event as we come here. I'm only just at the portal. I'm at the front door to welcome you in. Inside the room already are so many amazing creatives who you're going to get to interact with and spend some time learning from and interacting with yourself, because that is truly the essence of creativity, sparking and bouncing off each other, learning and leveraging our collective creativity to build something beautiful together. But why listen to me anymore? Let's start off by just understanding how we actually behave. Let's remember as a community that we are always going from our beautiful value of humility. Understand that you have an effect upon others and they have an effect upon you. So please be inclusive and value every person here has got worth, and show them respect and love. And you just never know who could be the most incredible creative partner for you. So always remember how to interact. Note that we are live, that the session is being recorded, and of course, lean in, listen, learn, and have fun. That's how we get to do it. ALX is all about our lofty mission to transform the continent of Africa. We're going in a direction now that we have not been in before, and we are so delighted to be here. The creative direction, leveraging the solution of creative technology to drive that positive impact change for our continent. You are here with us because your creative soul has been singing out loud. We love to have join us on our mission as we go forward as our ALX mission towards this. And you have been singing out loud. You have been already sharing your own creativity with our hashtag Create with ALX challenge. The entries came in, and at this point, I want you to find something creative you can drum roll on, because we have our 3 winners here to highlight right now. So congratulations to them all. And as a treat, we're going to be sharing their creative inputs. First of all, congratulations to Levy. I salute you. And this was Levy's project from hashtag. Hold on, pain and stay strong. Joy is coming, blessings pouring down. Hold on, pain and it's gonna be alright. After the storm is over, you will see sunshine. Oh, the hope that made him literally leap into the sky. That what caught our eye. That's beautiful. Thank you so much, and congratulations, Levy. And our second winner is Diana.
I rise through the fire, gone the blood, I'm taking higher. Ooh, I shine, I won't stop. Watch me go, watch me rock. Ooh, I'm fierce, I'm on top. Never fall, I'm set to pop. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Woke up with fire in my chest. Dreams too big, I don't need rest. Sky ain't the limit, I'm past that view.
Oh, guys, I'm loving the chat is lighting up. You can drop your emoji reactions to these fantastic winners as they are being presented. Well done, Diana. That was amazing. Wow. Yep. Loving these indeed. And our third winner, Boope. Who created this graphic image with this wonderful quote: I never chase the dream, I designed it. Boom! Hashtag Nasty C. Indeed, quoting Nasty C there. And this is the image that came from there. All our 3 winners. Well, congratulations. Thank you, first of all. I think one of the first lessons I learned about creativity is that creativity, you got to turn up. These guys turned up. You don't think about it. They didn't just dream about it. They didn't just sort of plan it and then think, I'll get to it one day. You actually turned up and you delivered. And so we like to reward that by saying, guys, we have a small reward for you. We are offering you a full covering of subscription payment to one of our creative tech courses. It's a fully paid up access fee to one of our creative courses. You'll be shared information soon, and you will be able to access that beautiful grant to cover your ability to get access to one of our creative programs that are coming towards you. You're going to learn about them as we go on in the program today. Congratulations to our winners. Next time you see an invitation to join and have a time to showcase your art, guys, turn up. Art without discipline is just a hobby. All right, let me take a chance now to pass on to somebody who is certainly not a hobby, but is great to be always around, the one and only Seth. Seth, tell them what's up.
Hey everyone, thank you, Gavin, loving the energy. So my name is Seth Busolo, dialing in from Nairobi. I'm part of the creative economy team, but more than that, I'm also creative, a filmmaker, a storyteller. So this is why this is very close to my heart. So I just want to take you through 3 things. Number 1, who we are as ALX, not assuming everyone here knows about ALX, what we're offering in terms of the creative courses and why it matters. So ALX provides young professionals across Africa with access to the most in-demand tech and creative skills. So we offer high quality, practical, and affordable training, and we make it accessible. So for just $5 a month, you as a learner get access to world-class programs that would probably cost thousands elsewhere. And more than that, we are active in 35 hubs across 8 countries, having trained more than 250,000 graduates. But even more than the numbers, what sets us apart is what we believe. That we believe that everyone should have access to limitless potential of opportunity. And even looking into the creative sector, there's so many opportunities, which is why we are launching the Creative Tech Light programs and currently accepting applications for 4 Creative Tech Light programs. So they are short, practical, high-impact 16-week courses designed to get you industry ready. So as you can see there on your screen, so there's music and audio production, so from composing and recording to mixing and monetization, helping you to understand and navigate both the creative side of the business, but also the business side of the business. Then there's content creation, where you learn how to build a content brand from scratch, from story to audience strategy, platform choice, engagement, distribution, and monetization. Then there's graphic design, or rather digital graphic design, where you learn about the layouts and typography and branding and visual storytelling, but for us also grounding it in African design aesthetics and cultural expression. And finally, there's this whole talk around AI and what does that mean for creatives. So even for you as a creative, learning how to utilize AI, whether it's text to image, text to music, and generative design, all while keeping your artistic control. So I'll ask my colleague Jay, please play the video.
Having the power to create entire worlds, places where stories unfold, where sound and visuals come to life, where the impossible becomes possible. What if you had the power to bring your ideas to life? Would you dare to be more? Supercharge your creativity skills with AI. Build sonic worlds using music and audio production. Design stunning and immersive brand visuals. Or become a master of content creation across different platforms. Step into a new era of creativity and build a career-ready portfolio, gain business skills, and unlock your creative potential. Now, stop imagining. Start creating. Dare to be more with ALX Creative Programs.
Yes, indeed. Dare to be more with ALX programs. And just before I hand over to Oyen, one of the key things we realize is training alone is not enough. Yes, you can be trained as a creative, but we need to activate the entire ecosystem, because how do you monetize your talent? How do you get a community that is able to keep you accountable? How do you get opportunities that allow you to access the industry? So at ALX, our approach is more than just a training. So you get access to three things. Number one, access to Africa's top creatives. So through events such as this one, masterclasses, podcast, you hear directly from industry leaders and get inspired. So across our 8 hubs, rather across the 8 countries where we are based and the 35 hubs, we'll be having different sessions with different creatives, inviting them for masterclasses. We're having a podcast and regular events such as this one, so that our minds can be opened towards the opportunities within the creative sector. And then secondly, you can get inspired by people who've actually done the work. And then the second thing is a thriving community. So being part of ALX is more than just doing a course. You're part of a community of creators, collaborators who can share feedback and even monetize projects together, not just within your country, but across the African continent. And then the third thing, which is also very important, is real industry exposure, industry on ramping opportunities. So through our different partnerships across the continent, we help to give you access to infrastructure. So you get opportunities to showcase your talent, whether it's freelance opportunities or brand deals or real gigs, we provide you with that. So 3 things. Number 1, access to Africa's top creatives. Number 2, a thriving creative community. Then number 3, real industry exposure. So whether you're a young creative looking to level up, whether you've been in the business and you're looking to you're looking to break into the industry, ALX is where it starts for you. So thank you so much, and handing it over to our amazing panelist host, Oyen. Oyen, how are you?
I'm good. I'm excited. I'm pumped. Woo! It's here. The day is finally here. Hello, everyone. I'm Oyen Johnson Awoni. I'm absolutely stoked to be the moderator for the panel sessions today. This is like, for me, okay, let me start from there. So I'm a tech lawyer by day and multidisciplinary artist by night. So anything that has to do with creatives gets me super, super pumped and excited. If you're with us and you're feeling excited as well, why don't tell us in the chat where you're joining us from. I'm joining in from Lagos, Nigeria, but I know people all over the globe are here. Tell us where you're joining in from. Let us get to know you a little bit. Are you with us on Wave? Are you on Zoom? Are you on YouTube? Let's get this conversation going. I have the amazing honor and pleasure today to be moderating a panel with some real life superstars. These are people who are not just talking the talk, but are walking the walk, right? So in just a minute, I'm gonna introduce to the stage Oladapo Adeomi, Yvonne Evans, and Kevin Boache. All right, so if you can just pin their faces for their beautiful faces for us, so we can talk about them a little bit, then I'll go through their bio as you do that. All right, so these people have amazing bios, right? So I can't talk about everything, but I'll try and quickly touch base. So let's start with Kevin. So Kevin Boache is the co-founder and partner at Africa Creative Agency. He's a strategic leader connecting finance, technology, and African creative enterprise. It's a Pan-African agency that he leads, managing top talents like Tyler, like Nasty C, who are basically shaping the image that people have of Africa today. Kevin used to lead business development at Carry First and a leading African mobile games publisher, and he's been at the forefront of strategic partnerships and highlighting African narratives in global gaming. He's had over 15 years experience, even in the investment banking space. So this is the guy that does all the things, right? He's a thought leader, and he speaks frequently about building global relevant African creative brands and the transformative potential of Africa's creative economy. So I have the pleasure of welcoming you to the stage, Kevin. Absolutely amazing to have you here. Next is this beautiful lady. You see two beautiful ladies on your screen. I'm one. The other beautiful lady is Yvonne. I had a beautiful conversation with Yvonne, and she's just, one of those people that's just a beautiful soul, and you can tell right from the first conversation. So I would describe Yvonne as the designer for designers. So a mentor, a collaborator, a guide. She helps people understand how to use their creativity as a tool for empowerment, transformation, and connection. So she's designing courses, launching campaigns, telling stories. But in general, she invites other people to reimagine what is possible when creativity meets intention. She's a multidisciplinary creative professional with over a decade of experience. She founded the marketing agency Vedzin, a creative studio and learning lab. And now she's at the forefront of creating the courses that I'm hoping after today's session, you all will go and sign up for. She has a global perspective, and both music and storytelling are central to her identity. Blending sound, visual, narrative, she aims to empower, transform, and connect. So, lovely lady Yvonne, can you wave, say hi? Awesome. Okay, last but definitely not least, we have Oladapo Adeomi. All right, so this is another heavy hitter because obviously, ALX, we come correct. We keep the agenda packed for you all. Oladapo is founder CEO of Apollo Endeavor, a Lagos-based creative agency focused on talent management, content development, event curation, and the aim of the agency is to elevate African creative talent globally. So he has background in production, digital strategy, talent representation, and he transformed Apollo Endeavor to a platform for African entertainers to monetize their work and expand their reach. He's also a senior rep for Mentor Music that helps African creatives optimize content and increase revenue. And he's contributed to the success of channels like Mark Angel Comedy, which a lot of us know. And yeah, he's been recognized with Global Recognition Award and Africa Under 40 CEOs Award. There's a lot to go on, but I'm just welcome to the stage Oladapo as well. All right, let's go, let's get it. How this gonna go? I'm gonna go around the amazing speakers we have here. I'm gonna ask them questions. I'll ask them, we just kind of hit the ground running, hit the point on the head, because if we go on a conversation, I could have a one-on-one with either of you for 1 hour. So since we don't have that time, let's just jump right in. So who do I start with? Eeny, meeny, miny, mo. I'll start with Yvonne, because ladies first, right? Okay, let's do it. So you're the cutting edge of creative education, right? With the design work you're doing at ALX in particular, you are shaping the next generation of creators. You are basically, when the story is being told of how the perspective and the view around Africa changed, you will be at the cutting edge of that conversation. So how does future proofing look like? What does it look like in the context of African creative education?
I would say that it truly starts with just training every designer, every um, aspiring creative to sort of understand the like the weight of what they can do and how that could not only change their life financially, but then how it can impact the continent, right? It all sort of starts with designers. So once you have sort of honed this group of creatives, then beyond that, it's like this ripple effect, because every designer wants to create a different designer. They would always want to hire someone under their wing, train them.
Yeah.
So like once you sort of like educate a group, that sort of ripple effect will cut across like the future of design as a whole. So I think it starts with like educating and empowering just that the first batch of creative artists, which I think ALX is doing brilliantly so far.
Yeah,
Yes.
we're trying anyway. No, that's so well said. It's absolutely so well said. It's about, we like to talk about each one, teach one, right? So once you impact someone's life, you can't even start to figure out how many other people's lives they impact, on account of that. So absolutely very, very well said. I'll come to you next, Kevin. I mean, you have worked with the biggest talents on the biggest global stages. And so when you think about what makes a difference? What are some of the underrated strategies that creatives need to think about when they're trying to expand into an international market?
Yeah, so I think, it really starts with, who is your core audience, and really
Mm,
understanding that. I think the best creatives know their audience the best and their own
mm,
CMOs, right? They're their own chief marketing
mm.
officers. What we
That's
can
good.
do as management, as strategy, as partners is amplify the things that are natural to creatives. So with social media being so prevalent in the way that artists promote themselves these days, I always talk to artists about doing what's natural to you, doing what's sustainable, right? If you're not a dancer and I have you do a dance challenge, that's only going to be sustainable for, that one cycle, but you're not going to want to do that again. Or immediately once you become popular, you're not going to want to push on those things. So I think that's also extremely important. And I think also, obviously, social media, the changes in AI, the ability of independent artists now to take market share from the major labels, et cetera, and also the
Mm,
demand for African music and culture in particular has really flattened the world, right? So I think oftentimes artists get caught up in the idea of, I'm doing this for my local market, and then I'm going to release this for the international market. But to be honest, the moment you push upload on a song, it's available to everyone globally, right?
mm,
So as you're thinking about any release, even if it is local language, I think the interesting thing that we've seen now is people are picking up on the slangs, the lingo, the culture.
mm.
They're speaking
Absolutely.
pidgin, they're speaking vernac, right? So it's
Absolutely.
really important now to do things that allow them to tap in. So, for example, you think about platforms like Genius, those are going to be critical to unlocking, some of the language barrier and things like that. So it's not about, you know, assimilating to what you think Western markets want, because I think that's
Mm,
happening and that's diluting other genres potentially. But it's more
mm.
about tapping into your authentic source as African talent and people now engaging with that on a very real level because of the desires to now tap into this culture, this vibe, and this sound.
Wow, there's like so much there. I'm like trying to take notes and trying to moderate at the same time. You said so many amazing things. I really like this idea of like the world is global, right? So once you put it
Hmm.
out there, it's out there. No such thing as a local market anymore, in a sense.
No.
But just be authentic. I love that. Okay, cool. Let me out and ask Oladapo a question before we run out of time because I can see the way this thing is going. So just, more to that point, Oladapo, can you tell us what you think, based on, I mean, everyone has told us about, learning at the very basic level, the creatives learning, how to be creative in this current world. And Kevin has told us about sort of how to do that on a global stage or understand that you're on a global stage. I'm curious to know from your perspective, what sort of skills or knowledge areas you think are most critical for emerging African creatives to succeed in today's digital landscape? Oh, mic check, mic check. Okay. I'm gonna assume Oladapo is not with us, or he's holding off not to tell us the story just yet. He's playing hard to get. So, so I'll come back. All right, I'll come back to Kev if that's okay. Kev, is it okay if I call you Kev?
Yeah, sure. Go for it.
Okay, cool, cool. All right, so then I'll ask you the same question, right? From your perspective, what do you think are the most critical skills for emerging African creatives?
Own your audience, right? I think it's the most important thing. How do you engage your audience? And I think oftentimes when we're dealing with brands, when we're dealing with labels, we think about the output. How do we get out the music? How do we put out the deliverables if it's a post? But what about the data? Who is
Mm,
consuming your music? Who is your core fan? Where are they located? Who are your
mm,
most engaged fans? There's this
mm,
idea of kind of 1,000 core users or 1,000 true fans, right? And if
mm,
each one of those are spending $1,000 on you, yeah, you're at 100,000. You can actually monetize that and have a living wage, right? So I think for a
mm,
lot of the artists that we're working with, yes, it's about releasing music or being in films and TV and having those cycles. But at the same time, when you're off cycle, how do we continue to generate cash flow for you? And that's by having an engaged fan base who are your true evangelists that you are aware of, you know where they live, you are able to talk to them and continue an ongoing dialogue and conversation and grow with them, even though in those gaps. and it allows for opportunities for you to sell merchandise, live opportunities, different brand opportunities, because you now have a data set that you know how to monetize, that you know how to engage with, and you have an accurate representation of who's truly your core and who you're speaking to.
That's so good. That's so good. It's like really understand your audience, really know who you're working with, really know who your fans are, and if you do know that, then you can monetize. I want to come back to you, Yvonne, on this same concept of monetization, right? So you were as well, in sort of in a different way, and you've been deeply rooted in African digital expression. And from your perspective, how can creatives monetize authentically African stories and designs on global platforms without diluting the essence?
Yeah, I think that's actually a really good question, and at the same time, it's a really huge challenge within
It's a big
the
one.
African context. And this is coming from like a designer's perspective, right?
Mm,
I think the first thing would be sort of to bounce off what Kevin has said,
mm,
knowing your audience, but then beyond that, also sort of like knowing your own craft and
mm,
believing in your craft and living your craft, so to say. So basically, being like developing your voice to a point where, like a say a client would come in and say, hey, I want my event to be to have an Yvonne style, right? I want
mm,
my brand to have these kind of animations like that are mirrored,
mm,
maybe like this painter's look and feel, right? So once you sort of have that voice, automatically you stand out. And when you
mm,
stand out, then you have sort of the, lack of a better word, power to be able
mm,
to like rate your craft accordingly. You would say that, well, according to the marketing rates, this is how much my craft would I this is how much I craft my art, because you can't find art like mine anywhere else, because I've been able
mm,
to craft my voice in this way. And if you want your event to have this kind of voice, you're going to have to come back to me. So with that,
mm,
sort of like it makes it really convenient for you to be able to marketize, to be able to monetize your craft, and yeah, sort of like scale up and keep it consistent and sustainable. I don't know if I've answered your question. If I
no,
haven't,
absolutely. No, you definitely answered my question. And I think what I really love about this conversation is I'm seeing such clear lines in between what you're saying and what Kevin has been saying as well, because it's sort of like thinking about the whole flow from beginning of like, okay, you're learning the stuff, and then you're creating your own, you're knowing your own voice, you're getting familiar with who you are, and then you get familiar with who your clients would be, and who, or in the case of music, who your fans would be. And the whole thing is really an ecosystem. So that's like one of my favorite things, was when two people are saying two different things and everything's just like, echoing each other. I love it. I love it. I love it. Okay. I'll stay with you, Yvonne, if that's okay. um You've built both creative design projects and learning platforms. Okay. In your experience, what's one skill you wish that creatives had to increase their earning capacity, and why that skill?
so I wouldn't say it's a skill. I would call it more a mindset,
A
right?
mindset, even better.
And
Yeah.
yes, and I think the mindset is confidence in
Mm,
confidence in your craft. I think if you carry yourself with that confidence in your art, it means that you're able to walk away from things
mm,
that do not serve you, but then you're
mm,
also able to open doors to things that do, right? So I would say that, which I think I would go back, like this sort of bleeds into, like bleeds from the whole point of educating creative artists, because like once you educate them, they know who they are, they know their worth, they know their value. So with that, they're confident in their craft, right?
mm,
So with that mindset shift, then they know that they have the steering wheel to drive, like sort of like their own, like to drive how their craft serves them financially. So I would
mm,
say that the skill, I think, once you, like anyone can have a skill, anyone can be a graphic designer, if you learn and if you follow through like everything that like your experiences, etc, right? But that little mindset of like just confidence in your craft can go miles in just sort of keeping your financial stability and sustainability. Yeah. So I would say it's a mindset shift.
Ooh, I have so many questions, but I'm like so worried about time. Okay, there's something I love what you said because there's something we say here, right? And I'm sure you're familiar with it, which is dare to be more. And I feel like this confidence point really ties in to the word dare, right? And it's like you already have the skill. Yes, there are a million graphic designers or a million musicians, but it's anybody doing it like you. And to be able to have that confidence, you need to know your stuff, and you need to be sure of who you are, what you bring to the table. And when you're there, if I'm not misunderstanding what you're saying, when you're there, then you can position yourself to would-be clients properly because you know your stuff, you know who you are. Am I correct? Am I understanding that right? Awesome. Okay, cool. I'm going to come back to you, Kevin, because I've missed hearing your voice in this last few minutes. Um, right. So there's something you said when you were speaking earlier that made me think, okay, yeah, this guy definitely has a finance background. When you started to talk about data, the metrics, I say, yeah, I know that. I hear it, I see it.
Hmm.
I'm curious to know from your perspective, looking at your journey so far, you've done global finance, you're managing African creatives. What are the lessons from your time in that world, Carlyle Group, Lemon Brothers, that have shaped how you now approach the business side of the creative industry?
Yeah, it's been interesting. It's been a real different transition because, I started off as a suits and now you can see I'm in much more trendy gear as a result of my 10,000 hours. But I think, getting to the point here, I think what's been really important is just fundamentally asking the question, of why? In a lot of these sessions. The music industry, the entertainment industry has so many prevailing orders of this is the way things have been done. And what we're seeing is massive disruption right now from independent labels, from emerging markets now. Latin America is taking a bigger share in music, K-pop out of Asia, obviously Afrobeat and Amapiano from our part of the world as well. The potential of AI tools also to help reduce the barriers to entry for musicians. So I think I've come in at a very opportune time where the paradigm is changing. And I'm also
Yeah.
able to ask some of those hard questions in a room. I think, the real raison d'etre for Africa Creative Agency is the fact that a lot of talent across the continent is managed by someone who's proximal to you, your brother, your cousin, your aunt, your
Yeah.
mom,
Yeah.
and they
Yeah.
often pay school fees with your career. So they're making mistakes alongside you, right? And I think for me, having a chance to be someone who has a long-standing business career and just maybe I don't understand initially in the initial phase, not understanding how the music industry works, but understanding how business works was a real important and kind of different reverse mindset to apply, right? Like, but guys, this doesn't make business sense. Why are we taking an advance for a loan and we only get 10% of every dollar that's earned? And if
Yeah.
you do a brand deal, you get 70% of it and we get 30, but we're doing this doesn't make any sense, right? And there were a lot of meetings that I went to in the early stages where the execs were like, why is this guy here? We don't want him here anymore. But I think over time, particularly, for our clients, we've been able to change the direction of travel. And I'm seeing it now with other labels, other managers now, asking the hard questions to get more value for what we deliver as talent, right? I think that's really, really important because this is IP. And I think the most important thing is that, people often look at the creative industry as like a spirit animal, like this just happened. They were born a star and destined a star and that kind of thing. But no, the artists who have been able to sustain very strong careers have had very strong and intentional business minded management teams to support them along that journey, right? And I think for me, it's about showing that in this creative economy, you can sustainably generate alpha if there's good business behind the talent. Yes, talent will come and go, but there will also be an ecosystem that supports that talent, the managers, the agents, the producers, the engineers, the screenwriters, the directors, the videographers, the choreographers. all of them are also entrepreneurs. And we've seen it with the likes of Nasty C, the likes of Tyler, and some of the others. The number of jobs that they're creating when they go abroad, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Eyelash tech, a wig tech, a weave
Mm,
tech, a videographer, a photographer, a DJ.
mm,
These
mm.
folks, Nasty travels with a group of at least 6, 7 people. Those are
Right.
jobs that people are earning hard currency and now bring that back to earn. So I think, all of those things are extremely important in making sure that folks are now paid a living wage that shows that as a overall economy and industry, we can generate sustainable alpha, because that will lead to more investment in the sector and more job creation. That for me fundamentally has been what I've looked to bring, is that skill set to allow people to see those examples and allow more investment and more capital into this industry.
Oof. Yep. Love that. And ALX, anyone who's done anything that has to do with ALX knows that community is central to everything that we do here. And there's one of the things that stands us out from any, random course down the street is the community here. And this point that you've just touched on about, as an artist or as a creative, if you're doing well, you're actually creating opportunity for community, and so many other people's lives get impacted. And it makes me think, for the people who are listening on the call, in your own space, have you started to think about who you can partner with? Okay, yeah, I do a particular type. Maybe I do graphics. Someone else does, music production. Maybe we can collaborate and create something together. So I really love that concept. Thank you so much, Kev. Looks like
For sure.
Oladokun is back. While you were away, I told everyone that you were playing hard to get, but luckily
Oh
we
no,
have you. Oh, that
apologies.
wasn't
I
the
don't
case.
know. I mean, I could hear you guys. I could see you guys, but
Oh,
I
really?
ju- I just don't know what was going on. But I hope you could hear me now clearly.
Yep, loud and clear.
Ah,
I'm
cool.
going to hit you with my last few questions before we run out of time.
Right.
So let's jump
Can I
right into
quickly
it.
answer the question you had dropped earlier?
Okay, talk to me.
So one key thing for emerging creatives, right, is being able to skills that they need to have is being able to pass a message
Mm.
or tell a story.
Oh,
Skill
is that me?
that you need to learn, right? Sorry.
No. I thought you left again, but you're here. You're here to be able to pass a
All
message.
right.
I heard you. Go ahead.
Yes, pass a message or tell a story. It's very important for emerging creatives to learn and have that skill set, right? Having the idea in your head is one side. Being able
Mm,
to showcase it to the world and let people understand what you have in the head is different. So that's a very important skill set emerging creatives needs to have.
I love that. I love that. So good. So well said. Like actually knowing how to communicate what's in your head, transferring it from idea to reality. I love it. Okay, so I have another question from you. I'll stay with you, Oladapo, if that's okay. You've
Sure.
helped increase creator earnings by up to 300%, which is crazy, through Apollo Endeavor, right? And Mental Music. So what are some of
Right.
the specific, give us some, as we like to say in this part of the world, give us some expo. What are some specific monetization strategies or tools that have proven most effective in your experience for African creators navigating platforms like YouTube or Facebook, platforms like that? What are some of the specific monetization strategies or tools that are most effective?
Okay. Just to sound check again. I hope you could hear me. I just thought to be sure.
Yes,
Right.
loud and clear. Good.
Okay.
Go for it.
So cool. For creators, right? They always see the big picture first, right? They see big creators, and then they immediately want to be on that same level, right? However, there's a lot of resources that is required for you to get to that level, right? Being able to produce high-end, high-quality videos, being able to pay more actors, makeup, and all of that is usually difficult. So what I tell young emerging creatives who want to get into the creative space is learn how to start small, right? From your mobile phone, with the resources around you, you're able to produce content, right? Also, Facebook is a fantastic platform where you're able to start to monetize content that is produced from your mobile phone. It doesn't have to be high-end content. Also, YouTube have a lot of people don't know. They basically know about the in-stream ads, right?
Mm.
Is the long form monetization. However, YouTube also have what they call YouTube Shorts, which have rev share, right?
Mm.
So as an emerging creative, you can also produce short content, right, on YouTube and Facebook to start generating revenue. And then as time goes on, you evolve, right, into being able to produce high-end content and then high-end, high-quality videos. So
Mm.
being able to utilize YouTube Shorts, rev share, and then Facebook Reels monetization is very important.
Mm.
Short content. Then you
Mm.
emerge into the big one, because I've seen a lot of creatives who want to get into the space, and firsthand they're looking for 2 million, 1 million, 5 million to be able to produce
Mm.
a video to go on YouTube first. That's your first video, right? There's no guarantee that the video will gain all the audience that you need, and gain all the views that you need. So you need to learn how to start small and utilize those minimal monetization tools that exist, and then you scale up from there. Yeah.
Right, love it. So, as you guys can imagine, this was going so well. Now I'm hearing we're out of time. I'm like, no, I want to continue, please. Okay, before we go, I would just like you
Mhm.
to give me one word from each of you. If you can quickly think of one word, rapid fire. The future of African creativity is dash. I'll start with you, Yvonne. What do you think?
Um, I
I'll
think
take a phrase. I'll take a phrase, a short phrase. Fine.
you'll take a phrase. Okay,
I'll take
perfect. I think ownership. It's not a phrase, it's a word, but then just
You see,
ownership
you
of
got the word.
ours is key.
Ownership. The future of
Oh,
African creativity is ownership.
yeah.
Kevin, hit me. What's the future? Oh, did you say ownership as well?
No,
I
sorry, I was
think
on
you're
mute. I said leadership.
Oh, okay.
right.
I just saw the ship. Okay, so we have
Yeah.
ownership, we have leadership. Oladakwa, are you going to give me another ship word or are you going to go a different
Nah,
direction?
nah, nah, nah. Different direction. So I would say collaboration.
Okay, that's good too. I love it. So we have ownership, leadership, collaboration. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, you now know what the future of African creativity is. I'll hand it back over to my hosts. Yes, my host is Gavin, the most incredible Gav.
I'll take it, I'll
Thank
own
you.
it, and I'll put in my hat and say thank you. What a conversation. Guys, whoa, the chat was blasting out there. But my mind, like you say, it was just so much happening, so much to take. Thank you for all these beautiful insights. It's like boom, 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 boom. That is the power of community. All these amazing, amazing thoughts. They just didn't come from nowhere. These are bouncing off experience and each other that has got these to where they are now. And you are getting access to them by just being here. But let me stop talking and take us to our next part of our program today. We're going to take a little moment to enjoy some testament stories about the power of the community from people themselves, creatives themselves, who are living the experience. ALX is a transforming module, a way of transforming lives. And here you're going to hear about it indeed from the creatives who already exist within our ecosystem. So please, let's take a moment to watch these videos and hear from these creatives themselves. Go ahead. Powerful entrepreneur, full powerful entrepreneur, a powerful speaker, a powerful creative, somebody we're looking forward to hearing his testimony If we get it to play, we will hear it now. Otherwise, I promise we will get a chance to hear from this creative themselves. Testimonials directly from creators are so good because it's all in theory until it's actually in practice. And that is what is going to be great to hear from this wonderful entrepreneur as we just try to get it to roll out for you. Standing by. Yeah, yeah. One time you have to realize, and this is something that you have to always work as you are creative and working in the creative tech, is that you're often dealing with external forces, and that is indeed the Wi-Fi issues across Africa. Why we're working with amazing tech people, software engineers to try and change this on our continent as well. But it will definitely be part of it. But let's move to the fireside and we'll return to this wonderful conversation just now. So, Oyin, if you're ready, would you take us to one of the highlights of today? A one-on-one in the same space conversation with the one and only, the extraordinary, the amazing. We're so excited. Oyen, take us to our fireside chat of ecstasy.
Woo!
I know, I want to scream too. Fangirling out
Right.
here, fangirling.
We're,
To
we're
you.
fangirling, doing all the things. Let me know if you can see and hear me fine. Yes? Cool.
Thumbs up.
Awesome, awesome. Okay, so I'm back like I never left. Good people. I have the honor and pleasure. I mean, this today has been amazing. I just can't believe the quality of the people we have in the room. And now I have none other than Nasty C. He is a force, right? A magnetic brand force. I mean, he's partnered with yeah. Let's have a look at him. He's partnered with Coca-Cola, Mercedes-Benz, Samsung, among others. Right? He has global appeal. He's a trend-setting influence. He's broken new grounds in 2023 by becoming Call of Duty's first African ambassador, launching Iverson Army Tour, Africa's first hybrid music and gaming experience. He's a multi-platinum, globally recognized South African hip hop artist with over 1.5 billion. I said billion streams, Durban raised, and nicknamed the coolest kid in Africa. His mantra is, I never chase the dream, I design it. From the age of 16 till today, Nasty C has been taking over our airwaves. And ladies and gentlemen, even though I can't see you in the room, clap your hands, shake your tail feather, get excited, and welcome with me to the stage, Nasty C.
What's going on? How are you? What's up,
I'm so
everyone?
good. I'm so good. I'm so good. We're super excited to have you here. Um,
Thank you. Pleasure, man.
yeah, awesome. It's our pleasure as well. So we have questions. We have people who want to talk to you. Hey guys, drop comments, questions for him. If I have time, I'll try to pull in one of your questions. But while I have you, let me get started with my own questions, Nasty. Okay, so let's start from the phrase that you're known for, right? One of the phrases you're known for, which is I don't chase the dream, I design it. What does that
Yeah.
mean to you?
It just means that I'm going for my version of this dream that I share with so many other people, you know? Like, yeah, when I was growing up, I always wanted to be the person I am today, you know? But when I said it to people, they thought I would be your typical template of a rapper. You know, they thought I would fit and check all those boxes. But I always said that I wanted to have things my way and be who I wanted to be. You know, I want to design my dream. I want to make it so that it fits and meets my needs and satisfies me first as a person, you know, before it does anyone else who thinks, oh, a rapper is supposed to be this and this and that and only that, you know, and so many other things. Yeah,
Now
yeah,
that's actually inspiring. I think that's something that every single creative can understand and like, okay, I can create my own life, design thinking, create what I want for myself. I love that. Okay, so let's take it back a little bit. When did you
yeah,
first realize that okay, this music thing, I'm pretty good. You know, maybe I want to
yeah.
spend some part of my life doing this thing. It's not just a hobby. When did that happen for you?
So I think there was two phases to that, right? The first phase for me was when I was like 13, 14 maybe. I think that's when I really, really needed to find something that I could use to express myself. Because I'm an introvert, man. I'm a homebody. I'm a person who likes to keep to himself.
Okay.
So all these
Yeah.
ideas that I just have boiling in my head, I just needed to get them out one way or another. And at the time, I was a
Mm,
person who sketches. Like I used to draw a lot, but that didn't do it. So that's when I
mm,
decided, okay, cool. Let me actually put my real story and be vulnerable in my music. Let me take it seriously. And obviously, I had the hopes of it one day becoming something that actually pays. And then that happened. That happened when I was 16, and then I was able to start paying bills in the house and start putting food on the table. And that's when I
mm.
decided, okay, this is definitely
I
my
can do
thing.
this.
Yeah, yeah,
I love that. I love that.
yeah,
Someone has a question, which I like, so I'm going to ask it, which says, "How do you stay true to yourself?" So you talked about designing your own dream, creating your own
yeah,
path. In the world of
yeah.
showbiz, where so many people try to tell you how to do so many things, how do you
Right.
stay true to yourself in that world?
I'm just lucky I have so many of my people around me. This is people that I've been very, very close with before I was anybody, before I was famous.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
yeah, when you have that kind of support system, it's very hard to sway from that and change. They'll quickly pull you back and remind you of who you really are. I think that helps a lot. But also, just it's just the head that I have on my shoulders, man. I know what I want to be, and I know what I don't want to be also. So I'll never let myself drift off, you know?
Mm. Yeah,
Yeah,
no, that's good. I love that. Support system, grounding, like being
yeah,
super clear. That's like a theme that has come out throughout today. Knowing exactly
yeah,
who you are and like sticking with it. I love it. I mean, for
exactly.
you, you've built more than a music career. You're a brand. You're the coolest kid in Africa. Everyone wants to chat with you.
Yeah.
When you look out at like younger, yeah, I don't want to say young creatives because you're still a young man. But when you look
Right,
at younger or newer creatives coming on the scene,
right.
and they're looking at how to monetize their work. What do you think that they overlook? What are some of the things that they overlook?
Um, if I look at like the people that are in my field, anyways, right? Those
Yeah,
are the ones
yeah,
I think I can speak on from like
sure.
yeah, I think that they don't take their corporate side of things serious enough. Sometimes they
Mm,
may think it's boring, they may think it's not the cool thing to do, it's not the cool room
mm,
to be in and stuff like that.
mm.
And I get it. As an introvert, I get super bored in those rooms and stuff like that, but I understand how important it is. And
Yeah.
as an artist, you can't be so naive that you think that what you do now is what you're going to be doing for the rest of your journey. You're going to want to
Mm,
venture into some other things, and you're going to need friends in those different places and
mm,
people that respect you and they know that you're a pleasure to work with and all that kind of stuff, so that when you
mm.
knock on that door again and you see a familiar face, they'll vouch for you.
Yep, yep. No, I
Yeah,
love
yeah,
that. I love that because what you just said now is super, super key. This idea of like people want to work with you because a lot of creatives forget that bit, right? The people
yeah,
actually want to
yeah,
be in a room where you are. I love that. So,
yeah,
for you, having been like someone who's now more mindful about some of the financial things and the legal things and the more boring stuff,
yeah.
what are some like sound, decisions or investments that you've made, if you're happy to share, that help you build a sustainable career beyond just I'm a rapper, I make music, or I'm a
Without going into the detail of
sure,
things,
sure,
it's the friendships that I've been able to make, and it's not only like through my own power. This is like my whole team. These are the people that make sure to mention my name when they're on a random flight, sitting with someone who does something that I might be interested in. They make sure to get
right.
that contact, and they connect us, and then we'll have like a lunch or a dinner, and we'll talk, and we'll kind of just like feel each other's energy out, and then we'll take things from there. But I think it's a collective thing. It's very, very helpful to have a team of people who also think like that, because yeah, especially for someone like me, they go out a lot more than I do, so they obviously meet a lot more people. You know what I mean?
They're on the streets. They're in the
Yeah,
streets.
they're
They're
out there.
knowing
They're
what's
scouting for
happening.
me, man. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, and
yeah.
they just
I
bring
have a
the
great
news
team,
back
man.
to you. You're like, okay, this is good. Okay, I
Yeah,
love that.
exactly. Yeah,
Awesome. Um, One thing about you, I think, is that you're sort of able to balance passion and profit. At least that's how it
yeah.
looks from the outside. How do you
Mhm.
do that? Because a lot of creators really struggle with that. Like, yeah, you want to do what you're passionate about, and at the same time, you want to
Yeah.
make sure that you're able to put food on the table. You talked about being able to pay bills as young as like 16. So how do you balance between passion and profit for you?
Um, I'm gonna say it again. It's the team, man. It's the
Yeah,
team. It's the team. Yeah, it's the team,
yeah,
man. They make sure. Well, first of all, I have a team that can think very quickly on their feet. You know, they're not
mm,
they're not stubborn. You know what I mean?
mm,
We're able to, like, in times where things can get really unpredictable and you don't know what's gonna happen next, you need a team around you that can say, okay, cool,
yeah,
let's look at what we have and let's look at what's out there for us to get. Let's try and see how we can find like the easiest route to get here, or even like the more effective route, not even the most easiest. So when things like COVID happens, you know what I
yeah,
mean? You need to have a team by your side who's prepared to get you through that without, sending you into like depression and stuff like that.
I hear that. I hear that because
Yeah.
COVID was hard for a lot of
Yeah, you
creatives.
talk. Yeah.
So if you're gonna let me double tap that. If you're gonna talk about your team, and I'm a
Yeah.
creative now, I'm trying to build a team, for example. Who's the first
Yeah.
two, three people I should be thinking about? Like, I need this one's yes or yes on my team.
You definitely need a manager, right? That's first
Yeah,
and foremost. You need a manager. You need someone who's going to be between you and whatever deal you're looking to
yeah,
sign potentially, or partnership you're looking to make. You need someone in there who can, speak that language.
mm,
And then two, I would say you need, I don't know what you would label this in whatever field, but you need someone that is really out there, someone who goes to different places, who travels, someone who's outside, someone who can peep the scene and come back to you and say, okay, cool, this is what's working out there. Now it's up to you how you
yeah.
wanna, work around that. But you need eyes and ears out there in the streets while you're working on whatever it is that you're working on.
No, that's so good. Yeah, you need to
Yeah,
have someone whose eyes are on the
yeah,
streets. Let's put it like that. The
yep,
person who's outside.
yep,
Okay, got it. Okay.
exactly, yeah,
So let me ask a slightly different question now.
right,
You've gone from being a local artist and having critical acclaim where you're from to now being a global brand. So for those of
right.
people in the room who want to make that shift as well, what are the mindset shifts that have helped you make that leap? What has changed, or what do you think is important to be able to be a sustainable global brand?
Um, for me, in my case, if we're talking about like the creative side of things, it's definitely been the way I write my songs, the type of sounds that I choose. I look to make music that's relatable on a global scale and not just
Mm,
locally. I look to make
good.
music that can play in China, and the people that are there that know a little bit of English can still understand the essence of the song. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah,
I need to be
yeah.
able to go to India and do like a 10K capacity show. That's always been one
Okay,
of my like crazy dreams. Yeah, the
okay. I
creative side
love
of
that.
things. Yeah, it's definitely been that. And then on the business side of things, it's once again, it's my team. I have a team that travels, man. I don't know if I'm allowed to say this, but Kevin is on my team. And that should speak
Yeah,
volumes
yeah.
right
You
there.
can, you can say it. We're open. Please go for it. I
Yeah.
I've
Like
heard
I
him
don't even
talk.
know where in the world he's at right now. Kev, are you here in Joburg, or are you like I don't even know where he's at, but he'll always come back and he'll tell me about like different opportunities that came up somewhere across the globe that I didn't know about. You know? Yeah.
That's so good. So I'm hearing from you. Honestly, I hope everybody is taking notes because there's just so much wisdom coming out of your mouth. You have to see. Um,
Right.
I'm hearing from you. Think about your audience. Who's going to be, receiving and my music or my art,
Yeah.
and what do they need to be able to have access to it, right?
Right. Right.
And then also, again, back to this point of having the right team and surrounding yourself with the right people. So that's super super key. Um,
Yes.
as I think about, you mentioned COVID earlier. And of course, one of the things that came out of COVID is this super surge in how we use tech because we couldn't be with each other physically. So tech is changing everything, right? Is it AI, algorithms? Is it TikTok and social media and so on? Has it changed how you create or how you connect with your fans?
Um, I wouldn't say so. I
Okay,
don't think it has. It definitely hasn't affected the way I create. But
okay,
in terms of me reaching my fans, it's obviously like things like challenges and stuff like that. They
okay,
they
okay.
make the whole consumption of music a lot more fun. So I guess
Right.
I guess that's happened in that way. But Yeah, I'm not really on there like that. So yeah,
He's like, I stay in my house.
yeah, man. You know.
Fair enough. No, that's cool. But yeah, absolutely. So all the challenges, I think the thing with the challenges, it also introduces your art to people who maybe wouldn't have listened to it by themselves otherwise. So yeah, that's super, super cool.
Yep.
I guess next question for you is in your own platform, right? In your own way, you tell powerful African stories. And why is it
Yeah.
important that we control our narrative and tell our own stories? Why is that important for you?
I think it's very important because I mean the world we live in today, man. Anyone has the ability to just put out a message or tell a story and have it be seen and heard by so many people, you know. And a lot
Yeah.
can get lost there in translation. It could be someone who's just spectating and is not even really a part of the culture that's out there
Mm,
speaking for us, you know. So it's really important that we take the mic back into our
mm,
hands and really tell our story, you know, to the best of our ability. I'm
mm.
trying to escape the music here. I'm so sorry if it's loud. I'm
It's
just
all
going to
good.
car quickly.
If it's one of your songs, I don't mind. If it's not, then yeah.
Fortunately, it is. I'm gonna make my way to the car. Yeah, go to the car.
All right. Cool. No worries. No worries at all. Okay, so I really love what you said about, telling our own stories, and particularly this phrase, which I'm gonna sort of have etched in my mind after this, is take back the mic. Like, okay, thank you all for telling my story. Now I'm gonna take the mic and tell it myself, and I love that. So, so for you, when you're taking back the mic, how do you stay fearless? Right, you're blending music, you're blending tech, you're blending storytelling. How do you stay creatively fearless and just be like, yeah, this is my story and I'm sticking to it, for want of a better word?
Um, I don't know, man. It's just never letting what people expect from me really change what I choose to put out. I think a lot
Right.
of us artists fall victim to that, you know. We look at like what people want and what's the trendy thing and what's the thing that's like, you know, pulling the crowd and whatever. And then that makes us sway from our original path, you know. Yeah, I try not to let anything do that to me.
So what keeps you like how do you stay grounded? How do you remind yourself all the time about like, this is me, this is my purpose, this is why I'm here, and I'm not gonna like sway with whatever is trendy, because it's like you kind of want to be trendy, right? So if everybody's trending on something else, how do you know that this is not for me and stay super super glued to your own path?
Number one is just my gut feeling. My gut feeling is always there telling me that. But again, I'm human, so every now and then I might get a little weak here and then let people that I regard as friends or people who I hold like at a high regard anyways. I might let them convince me to do something, but then
Yeah,
maybe in the middle of doing it or after I've done it, I'll realize I probably shouldn't
yeah,
have done it. I probably
that's
should have
not
just, you
me.
know. So that happens. Yeah, that happens. I'm human,
Yeah,
you know. But
yeah,
most of
yeah.
the time, my gut feeling will save me from all of that.
Mm. So
Yeah.
that's an interesting one, right? Like being able to lean into your gut, even at like a global stage, performing at a global stage, and showing up at a global stage, but still able to like be so connected to yourself that you're like, yeah, let me lean into my gut and lean into who I am and go for what's important for me. So I want to ask you something that maybe some of the people, sometimes it looks like it's all been fun and roses and everything is just like been smooth sailing, but I'm sure it's not all been like that. So if you wouldn't mind telling us, can you think about some challenge that you've had in your career, and how you were able to overcome that for other creatives on the call who are wondering, they might be going through what you're going through and just thinking about, a tough creative moment. How do you get through that?
The one I can think of right now off the top is
Yeah.
writer's block. That's one
Mm.
thing. Yeah, like every now
Mm-hmm.
and then I find myself just in the pits of it, you know. But
I hear
I got introduced to this book called The Artist's Way, and even though I didn't finish it, I took away such a valuable thing from there. Like there's these tasks that they recommend you do to help yourself like get out of that place, you know. And it's like
that.
it's simple things. It's like you can wake up every morning and just do like the morning pages where you just write. You just let your mind and your hand just write, you know. Don't think too much. Don't try and write a perfect thing or whatever. Just write 2 pages. Just let it all flow out. All these random thoughts in the morning, let them flow out. and then that helps you get into the mood of writing or making a song. Because what happens is like a lot of us like to go in the studio thinking that motivation is going to be what gets us to start the song. You'd be like, oh, I'm not motivated to make the song, or I don't really feel like, even though you have to make the song, kind of thing. You know what I mean? The morning pages help you get into the flow of that, so that you don't lead with motivation, but you lead with the action first, and then let motivation catch up. Somewhere in there, you'll do something that will spark another idea, and then you'll find yourself in a much better place. But sometimes it's not even that. Sometimes it's like, yo, just go watch a movie, man. Like,
Okay.
stop making music for like 3 days. Go watch a movie, whatever. Do something random. Yeah.
So that is like you are speaking to me, because that is one of my challenges, like just being stuck and trying to break myself free from like trying to be perfect in my writing. So I've heard about the book. Now I have to go buy it. So thank you very much for sharing. But yeah, I mean that. I think that's super helpful for anybody here. And I think even if you're not a musician, you definitely get some kind of block at some point. So that idea of like stop, do something else, come back is great. Super helpful. And I have a similar question from one of our listeners who says, Nasty C, how do you deal with uncertainty?
Um, I would have to say I deal with it in the same way. Just get the ball rolling, man. It this thing is gonna happen a lot where you find yourself at a place where you keep asking yourself these questions like, am I even good enough to still do this thing? Am I as good as I was before? Is this thing
Yeah.
as good or better than the thing that people like me for? Will I deliver? Will I underdeliver? All these things, like all these questions, come up to all of us, man. It's not like a selective few that just gets to, just float and glide amongst us. You know what I mean? That doesn't happen like that. You just have to get the ball rolling, man. And once you do that, like, you'll be feeling a whole lot better. Yeah, I
That's,
deal with
I think
uncertainty all the time.
one of the things that I'm really hearing from like the whole conversation is this idea of like stop waiting for the perfect moment, right? You just do it. Just do the thing. Get it done. Commit to
Yes,
it. Do your morning pages. Just
yes,
keep going, and consistency, which is a testament to why your career has lasted as long as it has, and I believe will last for eons to come, is this idea of showing up. And I think creatives sometimes struggle with that because we want to go based on the feels and like I feel good, and and today feels like a good day. But showing up is really like it's kind of like in the gym. Showing up on the days where you don't want to be there
exactly. I actually wanted to
is
use that as an example. Exactly,
well, there
exactly.
you go. Me and you were on the same wavelength. All right. I have another question. I'm being nice, guys. Instead of asking more questions, I'm asking the questions from the listeners. Um, Someone says, "How possible is it to integrate AI to adapting to? Okay, AI is adapting to fast changes in the music industry. How do you think that integration is going to work? Something like that." Yeah.
I think it's gonna be cool so long as we don't let it replace us. I'm just gonna say us. As long as we don't let it replace us.
Yeah.
I think AI could be cool. There's I'll make an example. There's some cases where you have this idea of like a choir or a crowd of people singing something or some part in a song.
Mm,
And you might just not have access to those people. What you can do is use AI to make a reference of that, but don't make that the final thing. There are really talented singers and rappers out there who would love that opportunity to get on that song. You know what I mean? Who will probably do a whole lot better because they will sing with emotion and all that kind of stuff that you can't find with AI. You know what I mean?
right.
That's just one example. There's so many
Yeah,
other
that's good. I
ways.
love
Yeah.
that. So I like your balanced approach because you're not saying no, never use AI in your creative process, and you're not saying replace creatives with AI. You're saying look for how you can leverage the tool and still put creatives front and center because there's nothing like live music. There's nothing like it, right? No matter no matter how you tweak and thing, it's nothing like the soul. And I believe that music has that soul. It carries something, and yeah. So I'm with you 100%, 100%. There's another question that says, "What is your stance on censorship as an artist?" I mean, that has so many meanings, but I'll
I'll
let you take
pass.
whatever.
I'll
Huh?
pass on that one. I'll pass. Nah, I'll pass on that one. That one is too
He
deep
said,
for
I'm
me.
not going to do it. We're all friends here. Okay, cool. I'll go back to my questions then. How do you decide which opportunities align with your purpose? So when you see different examples of things that you could do, how do you make a decision like, okay, yeah, this is the one for me and this one is not?
Um, I think my way of doing that has changed. It has gotten better like over the years. It used to be I used to just like think, do I like this thing? Yes or no? And
Yeah.
if not, I used to not do it at all. But now I try to look a little further into the future. I look, is it
Mm,
any way even close to what I like doing on the side, not even on the main field? So if
okay.
it's like something that's like gaming related, but it's not necessarily gaming, it's like a comic book or something like that. Even though I never had a plan to make a comic book, I start to look a little bit further into the future. So, okay, what if one day I want to take my gaming company to that level? You know, I
Mm.
try and do that.
Wow, that's good. That's good. So I think that also happens with time, right? Taking a long-term view rather than just like vibes, like I'm not feeling the vibe or I'm feeling the vibe. So that's an interesting balance. I guess my next question is, what's next for you? What keeps you hungry and creatively
So much.
evolving? What's like the thing that's like, oh, I never thought Nasty C was gonna do this, and now he's gonna do this. What's next for
There's
you?
so much, man. There's so much. I'm growing, right? I'm growing every single day. Every time I'm in the studio, I'm growing. I'm learning something new. So there's new sounds coming. As far as the music goes, I'm a lot more open to things like live band now and stuff like that. So who knows what genre I might just decide to try next? You know what I mean? Like
Hey,
you'll never know.
keep,
You'll never
keep
know.
them
But then
guessing.
yeah, and then on the other side, I'm really I haven't let go of my passion for like drawing and designing characters and stuff like that. So
Okay.
I'm really going into the whole animation stuff. Also looking for like story writers and stuff like that, and just trying to bring it to life. You know? There's the fashion side of things too, where I'm a lot more unlocked now. You know, and also I'm a lot more mature now. You know, I'm an adult now. I'm no longer a kid
Hey,
anymore. I'm not even the coolest kid in
yep.
Africa anymore. That's done with. You know.
Coolest man, okay?
Yeah,
Coolest
you know what I mean?
gentleman in Africa.
Yeah, I'm an adult now, man. So there's a lot of things that I used to think were uncool as like my young self that I look at now and I'm like, yo, these things are actually the way, you know. So yeah, there's a lot of changes coming, man. A lot of new things.
Okay, guys, if you're hearing clearly, he's saying, watch this space. Yesterday's Nasty C is not today's Nasty C, okay? It's giving creative, it's giving fashion, it's giving music, it's giving art, it's giving graphic design. We don't even know what's going to come up next, but we're super, super excited. And I love it for us, okay? I love it for us that is going to be watching. Okay, so we're about to run out of time. But before we do, I just wanted to, one, just quickly say to everyone, in case you missed it, and during this conversation, what some of the things that he has said is designing his own dream, designing what success looks like for him. And that's something that you can do as well. Another thing that you really said that I loved was having a support system and grounding and community around you. Another thing was, being willing to be bored and listen to the corporate side and some of the more boring things, quote unquote. Um, and then this idea of just showing up. We talked about the gym analogy, right? You don't always have to feel like it, you just have to show up. And then finally, take back the mic. Tell your own stories, do it on your own terms, take back the mic. So, just before I let you go, because we're going to run out of time soon, I have one question for you, which I'd asked the panelists earlier. The future of African creativity or African creatives is dash.
I think I agree with what they said. You know, it's the ships. It's all the ships. The leadership, the ownership, partnerships.
Is
It's
the
all the ships,
partnerships,
man.
the
Yeah,
leadership,
all of it.
ownership,
Relationships, all of it. All the ships.
relationship. Okay, so
Yeah.
you guys notice this is where you know you have a wordsmith because my man started to rhyme the things. He said
Yeah.
partnerships, relationships. I love it.
You know what I mean?
I love it. I love it. Is there
Yeah.
any sort of last words that you want to put out? We have so many young people on the call, so many creators, so many people in the tech space, looking at like kind of trying to find direction and think about which way to go. Do you have any word that you want to share with them? Something that they can take away from this conversation? Like Nasty C said this, so I'm holding on to it.
I mean, aside from something that everyone should always tell you is that just believe in yourself and believe in your dream, your version of your dream, and just go for that. I would
Yeah.
say also, yeah, just keep your eye out on the world and look at where the world is going, man, because it's definitely shifting and it's shifting very, very fast too. So you don't want to be left behind playing catch up now. But look at where things are going and find your spot in that. I'm not saying try and fit into a crowd. I'm not saying scramble for the piece of the pie that everyone wants. No, find your place in what's happening, and you should be fine.
Okay, ladies, gentlemen, you heard it here first. Believe in your own version of your dream, okay? And don't get left behind. Find out where the world is going and figure out your place in that world with your own version of your own dream. Thank you so much, Nancy. This has been a
Thank
fantastic
you.
conversation. I feel like me and you would have a great conversation out of this place,
Thanks.
but we have to wrap it up. Thank you so much.
Thank
I
you.
hope that we're going to have ALX masterclasses and have you on as we do our creative tech courses. And you can come back and share more wisdom because clearly you have a lot of wisdom to give. Thank you. Appreciate your
Thank you.
time and appreciate all the nuggets you brought today. To the coolest gentleman in Africa, thank you.
I like that. Thank you. Have a great one. This is an honor.
All right,
Thank you.
you too. I'm going to hand it back over to our amazing host, Gavin, the only person that has even more energy than I do on this call,
That's
I'm
why we're
sure.
twins. We should definitely always, if we met our energy together, man, we would blow the top off this world. But it's
You
time
know,
for me to leave my jealousy aside for you having had that opportunity to have that one-on-one. Squash it, put it down, channel it into something beautiful. I'll
mm,
create something. I can drop some lines. But before I drop some
appreciate
lines,
it.
let's try and catch that testimonial video now to
Awesome,
let
awesome.
technology
Sounds
take over.
good.
So let's hear from our testimonial from our great creative. Do not panic. We will always get this testimonial to you at anyway. There's no way we cannot get this testimonial to you. So if it doesn't play now, don't panic. But we're going to have a chance to hear from Seth to talk about all the amazing other things we want to share with you today. Seth.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Amazing conversation, relationship, partnerships, and all the ships. Thank you. Thank you. So, this is something we've been working on for a while. So, I'm very, very excited to talk about this. Probably just take 1 minute. But one of the things we mentioned earlier is as a learner within the creative tech space, as part of ALX, you get access to Africa's and global top creatives. And one of the ways we do that is by holding conversations with them. So, in line with that, I'm excited to announce that on Monday, April 28th, if you had drum rolls or whatever that would be, we're launching the Dare to Be More podcast by ALX. Now, this is a space for visionary creatives, storytellers, culture shapers of culture who are ready to share more than their journey. They want to create real impact. So it's a high energy, action driven podcast where creatives don't just talk, we ignite change. Jay, please play the trailer.
T. Jones.
Okay, a trailer should be playing right about now. Okay, seems we're having some technical issues, but in the meantime, two things. Number one, if you have any artists or creatives you'd love to see featured on the podcast, please drop it in the chat. Just let us know their name and we'll find a way to reach out to them. Number two, are there any topics that for you as a creative you think would be very interesting to explore. Maybe it's monetization, maybe it's how to take your creative expression to the next level, whatever that would be. So whatever topic it is, or any artist or creative you would love to see featured, please drop their names in the chat. Okay. Are we ready with the trailer?
We'll see whether I can share my screen. I'm not sure. It might be able to.
Okay.
Tell me, you're going to give me a thumb up. I'm going to press play on my testimonial video. And if it's going, just say if you can hear. I don't know. I hope it's going to go.
Nothing from my end. Okay.
Did we go? Did we play? Let's just check the chat and see if it did play. Seth, did it play? We good?
No, it didn't play. The podcast trailer.
Oh, it was about to. Okay, good. Here we go. Okay. I'll do the podcast trailer first then. Let me go. All right. Sharing my screen. Let's hope it plays.
Well, it's playing, but the sound, we have an issue with the sound. We can see the video, but we can't hear the sound. Okay. I think, as I said earlier, we'd also find a way to ensure this is shared on different platforms so that you can interact with the podcast trailer. But as I mentioned, it's coming soon. Number one, if you're any artist you'd want us to feature, please let us know in the chat. Any topics that you think could be of interest, please let us know in the chat. Thank you, and back to you, Gavin.
All right. Thank you. It says I couldn't share the sound. Does that mean thumbs down, or should I try again? I'd love to. Oh, look, it's going to happen. There's something happening. There's something happening. All right.
What do Quincy Jones, Aaliyah, Kanye West, and Ludacris have in common? One answers today's guest.
It became more and more exciting for me to share the habits, the good habits of the American creators. And then how do we now bring the good habits of the African creators together in person and online? You know, I got artists here right now that are learning how to dance the way y'all dance. So why are you watering this for us? You were on Earth at the same time this new technology was presented to you. No one before you had an opportunity to do it this way. This is a blessing. This is a great opportunity. Take advantage of it. Become the very best you can become at it.
There you have it, the podcast. Look out for it. Watch it. Start following it. All right. Let's watch our little testimonial, which we've been advertising. It'd be so sad not to get it. All right. Here's our testimonial.
Hi, my name is Nguspambil Molapisi. I'm the co-founder and CEO of Sync Discovery. Sync Discovery is an AI-powered platform that enables artists to distribute their music to over 25,000 radio stations globally, track airplay, and collect their royalties in real time. You might be asking yourself why we're talking about radio in 2025. A lot of people don't know that 75% of the population in Africa listens to radio weekly, 80% in Europe, and 83% in the US. That is the audience we are helping artists to reach and monetize in real time. We are solving the problem of music discoverability and monetization for artists, especially in underserved markets across Africa. Why? Despite the rise of streaming, 90% of artists earn less than $100 per year from their music. In 2024, 50 million songs on Spotify were never streamed. That is half of the entire catalog on Spotify. This is the problem we are solving at Sync Discovery. Last year, we joined the ALX Ventures Accelerator program, where we got to refine our value proposition, go-to-market strategy, and most importantly, meet and connect with the right strategic partners that are going to help us scale our venture. We are currently in private beta in South Africa, Botswana, Lesotho, Namibia, Zambia, and Zimbabwe. And we just got back from the Global AI Summit in Rwanda, where we are launching next month. Join us in our exciting mission to turn bedroom studio artists into global superstars. You can visit www.syncdiscovery.io, that's syncdiscovery.io, to learn more.
There we go. Indeed, the amazing opportunity to be part of all this. Hearing from one of our very goods. Okay, cool. Now you must be thinking to yourself, how can I get into this? Well, of course, we're not here to just tell you all this and then leave you staring through the window. Not staring through the window, no, and staring outside. No, we want to invite you in to our beautiful community. So kickstart your journey with ALX by clicking on the link that is being shared and complete your registration and secure your spot in the creative tech revolution. Go to our website, alxafrica.com/learn/creative tech and get your journey going. You can also go to this QR code that's on the screen right now and watch for it. And then also, please, think about this. How have we done with our first ever Creativity Unleashed event? We always like to learn. I told you, we have value of humility here. We have the courage to try it out. Told you, we turn up. But we also want to learn how we could do this better in the future. So there's 2 QR codes. One will get you the feedback link, and the other one for you to sign up to join our programs. They're here waiting for you. Take this opportunity. Thank you right now to our hosts, Seth and Oyin, a triple trifactor, and the team behind the scenes who work so hard against all the incredible odds of technology, Wi-Fi, power cuts, blackouts, bad leadership, and people who don't love creativity but need to be creativity needs to rule their lives. And of course, the wonderful guests we've had today. Cannot thank you enough for sharing your time and inviting us onto your ships to connect your ships with all the rest of the ships. And with that, we say, have a great evening, morning, afternoon, wherever you are. And we'll see you in the creative streets back in our creative tech courses here at ALX. Have a great day. Bye-bye.
All right.